For Off the Block, I'm Ving Lopes, and we are now joined by King Men's Volleyball Outside Attacker, the 2017 Conference Carolinas Player of the Year, Jeff Sprayberry. And Jeff, I got to ask you, you got an NCAA tournament match, first NCAA tournament match in King history. You guys are going up to play Ohio State on Thursday night. What's your thoughts taking on the Buckeyes in the NCAA tournament?
It's definitely an exciting feeling. It's a little overwhelming at first, of course, winning the championship, but then kind of didn't know what we were going to, anticipate for the tournament. We were kind of hoping we're a different story here, I'm sure, along with everybody else in the nation. But, we're excited. We found out playing Ohio State, and we're all looking forward to it. We're all kind of just getting our minds together here as tomorrow comes.
And I want to ask you, this season, you guys have played, the Conference Carolina is obviously very competitive, but non-conference very competitive as well for you guys. You went on out to UCLA, went out and played Loyola. How do you feel that those matches have helped you prepare to face Ohio State?
Yeah, definitely. I've said it before. I think that those matches will definitely help us coming in tomorrow night. Like you said, we've seen the big boys, UCLA, and, going out to Chicago to play Loyola and Lewis. We definitely compete at our level, and I think getting those teams experiences-wise, we just got to play our game and not try to do anything that we can't really manage to do. And as long as we stick to that plan, then I think we'll do just fine tomorrow.
Yeah. And, I want to ask you from the standpoint of the team, obviously lots of excitement winning the Conference Carolinas on Saturday. But how do you guys as a team, enjoy that moment, but then also know that, hey, we got to stay focused because, the season's not done?
Yeah, exactly. So, of course, initially everyone was just kind of like, we did it, we busted our butts to get here, and it finally happened. And then as soon as that day was over, we moved down to Sunday to watch the selection show, and we all were, it didn't feel, it was kind of like a weird thing. It was kind of very calm, and we knew that we had another game because we're not done, we're not finished yet. We still have unfinished business to take care of, so.
Now, being able to look at Ohio State this week on film, what's jumped out to you as the film as the thing that Ohio State's best at?
I would say their pins, definitely. They've got great middles as well, but their pins are very pin dominant, I would say, film-wise. And their setter, Sunil, he's a phenomenal setter. He's kind of almost unpredictable. I know right now he's leading the nation in, I believe, assists per set or something like that, one of those categories. But I actually played in high school against Sunil, so I kind of know his tendencies here and there. But it'll be fun to play against him again. And, like I said, they're very pin-heavy. So as long as we stick to our block and stay pressed and then our defense in the right zones, then I think we'll do all right.
Yeah, so I do want to ask with that, when you have a setter who's a little unpredictable, how does that affect you guys as a blocking team? Do you have to be a little more cautious submitting at first, or do you just have to go with your gut?
I think at this point we've kind of realized we just got to go with our gut, and that's kind of been helping us so far. Especially with the championship game, we just said, what, just don't hesitate. If you're feeling some way and you're assuming it, just go ahead and stick with your first instinct and stick with that gut feeling.
Yeah. Well, I do want to ask you, obviously Ohio State's well known for their serving, but in the Conference Carolina match, credit you guys as well. You're just ripping it from the line. Was that the best serving performance you feel like you guys have had all season long?
I would agree that it's one of our best nights that we've had for serving wise, and it's something that we practice every single day, especially leading up to that game, and even leading up to tomorrow night's game. And like you said, Ohio State's a great serving team, pretty much all top spins, especially top spins we haven't really seen in our conference. But like I've said, we've had that competition to where we've experienced those tough serves, and I think that we're going to handle them just fine, and hopefully we keep ripping our serves.
Yeah. Now, I do want to ask you, obviously, every time this time of year, the Conference Carolinas is in it, you always get some fans who coming out and say, why is this team in it and everything. What's your reaction when you see that, especially from fans who never have seen you guys play all season long?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we kind of expect that as a Conference Carolina team. You're not going to really get much of that attention of, all these guys are great, because they don't see us. And even going into the games early in the regular season, going to Chicago or going to California, they're like, man, who are these guys? And then we go in there and we play our game. They're kind of like stepping back, like, whoa, these guys are, they actually can play the game. So I think just having that mindset of, we're going to be the underdogs and, there's no expectations for us. So it's kind of like no pressure for us. And so I think that's kind of a good thing for us to be the underdogs because there is no pressure. And so we could sit there and play our game and play relaxed and not have that tension of, hey, we got to do something here. We can't look like this or look like that. As long as we play our game and and just kind of prove to who we really are and make that statement to everyone who kind of doesn't know who we are.
Now, I want to ask you because, this is your senior season, and this program has been through a lot of growth in your time there. You largely a part of the reason for that growth. But how do you feel the program has changed since you first arrived on campus 4 years ago?
It's definitely changed a lot, especially with the group of guys. It started off with just three of us as a class. My class originally started as just three of us, me, Drucker, and Sean Lumen. So then obviously it grew with a couple guys redshirting, and then a couple guys transferring in. So it definitely grew in a positive way. When I came in, the season's record were always, negative or my first year, and then we started to progress. And I think just the team chemistry is what changed the most because we're starting to finally mesh, and especially this year, we're starting to mesh together at the right time, is how I said it earlier. Because, we went to Barton, and we weren't together at that point yet. We still had some things to kind of pick out and find. And then once we did, clearly we showed that when we played them in the championship. So I really think it's just a team chemistry that really needed to get together, and that's what we've been doing.
All right, and final question, we'll let you go on this. For you in particular, kind of looking at your journey, a two-part question, what has been your best experience about King University? And, what potentially would you say maybe, to kids who are 16 or 17 years old, looking for teams on why they should give King a shot and maybe check them out?
Yeah, obviously at this point in my career, my best experience was winning the conference championship. Of course, but everything, even just leading up to that, all the accolades that I've received at King, and I'm very humbled to have received anything I've gotten, but just the fact and the atmosphere at King, I'm a Chicago native, and so it was a very different atmosphere, but it was a very awesome transition coming from a city, small town, and then coming to a small town, but it's gorgeous at King, and the atmosphere is always great, and the team chemistry, like I said, has just been tremendous, and Coach Bohr has run a great team all the years he's been here, and, it showed at the championship. We had over 10-plus alumni guys come back out, and they're always supportive, and they're always going to come back to King, and that's the type of thing we have is we harp on it, on social media and even in the locker room, is we're a family, and we like to keep that atmosphere as a family-oriented kind of team, and I think that's what really drove me to really love King. So I think that's what the kids need to hear, and I think definitely experience for themselves.